After Jack had left the room, David lifted his mug at the end of the world. Yeah, Grace sat and they finished their tea in silence. Molly was in Catane when she bumped into Rabbit's consultant, oncologist, Mr. Denny, and a short-feet, bald man in his 40s and was que- queuing with middle-aged woman who had frizzy black hair and the kind you'd see on a rocker in the 80s. She was wearing a dance who drives thick thighs with rosebuds on them, a cardigan that matched the tights with the same rosebuds, and the kind of clowntish shoes you'd only see in documentaries about psychiatric patients in the last century. Molly had just arrived at house rabbit. Mr. Danny grabbed an orange, sleeping mostly. I'm so sorry I wasn't there yesterday to talk to you myself. Your friend did a fine job, Molly sighed. I'm so very sorry, Molly, he sighed, and he could tell he meant it, even though he dealt with death every day. She tried to smile, thank you, but all is not lost. He too looked from Molly to his friend and back to Molly. Clearly he was unsure as to whether, now she realized how grave Robbie's condition was. Molly registered his unease. She's here today, isn't she? She sighed, and he seemed to relax. I will be in to see her in about an hour if you are still around. Where else would be? Where else? Where else? Where else would I be? Nowhere but here, sighed the woman with the clunky shoes. This is Rita Brown. She is the medical social worker. Mr. Dennis sighed. Nice to meet you. Molly, I'm here for you and your family if you need me. Rita sighed. Thanks, Molly sighed and moved away. She decided against the mug of tea. Her stomach was playing up. She looked round for the toilets. Quick, 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 Molly. Don't have an accident. That's all you bloody need. Arctic wings, no kickers. She made it to the ladies and spent some time washing her hands under piping hot water. The soap was a luxury brand which smelled delicious on her hands. Now the antibacterial cleanser that hospital supplies. She looked at her in the mirror. Molly had always been plump, but her weight had served her well in old age, and now her skin had always been soft and flawless, but it was doomed now, and her eyes were dark holes in her head, surrounded by firm creases. At the 70s, too, she asked herself, when did I go so old? Her hair had been gray for many years, and she usually added a little silver blonde to it. But since Rabbit's fall and her subsequent diagnosis, Molly had had little time for anything or anyone else. Now the rose looked bad. Now the bruise looked bad, and Rabbit kept reminding her that she needed her hair done. But how could she spend a few hours at the hairdressers when her youngest children needed her most?